Hi, good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Wait, let me fix this. All right, let me just share to my... Excuse me. I need a drink. Hi, thanks for the likes. Let me just, I have one earring and I totally forgot. Sorry, guys. I am going to share this to my pages, my different pages. So give me 1 second. I want to make sure everybody can access me. Hi, thanks for joining. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Thank you so much. You guys are so inspiring. I'm not kidding. You guys inspire me to come on here every day. You really do. Hi. Thanks for joining. All right, hold on. Also, just a warning, my internet has been a little sketch. So, hopefully I don't drop off. I have before. It's super annoying. Right, guys? Super annoying. Good morning from Italy. Good morning. Hi. Thanks, guys. It makes me really happy when, there's people from all around the world and I'm able to reach you guys. And the only way I would be able to do this is the internet, and Facebook. So I'm excited. All right, guys, today is an empath topic. Absolutely love this one. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Justine Luzzi. I am a spiritual advisor. I do intuitive coaching, spiritual teaching. Thanks for the hearts. Cool. I do crystal healing, and I also do angel card readings. And also, on top of all of the many things that I do, can't pick just one, right? I am an empathic supporter, mentor. Thanks. Thank you. I am a mentor for empaths, right? I love talking about empaths. I'm empathic myself. We are a completely different breed from the rest of the world, right? We process things differently. We think differently. We have intuitive gifts. We are who we are. Hi, Lori. Hi. And today I wanted to focus on empaths because I think this is a really important topic. And honestly, thanks for the hearts, guys. I'm so excited. Thanks for being here. Yay. Okay, cool. So, today I want to talk about empaths and relationships, and it really triggered me yesterday when I was talking to a friend of mine who I believe to be an empath as well, about a relationship that he was just in, and how it just got me thinking about how difficult it is for me and my relationship life. It has not been an easy road, guys. I have attracted very unemotional, emotionally unavailable, that's what I'm looking for, people. I have had short-term relationships, I've had some long-term relationships, I've been in a situation where I was serial dating, that type of thing. But relationships are a part of my life that just don't come easy. You know, when you see people and they just fall into these relationships where they're so super easy, and that's just not the life of an empath. It just is not likely. That is not usually the norm. And not to say that other empaths don't have very healthy, natural, organic relationships, and they haven't been through the up and down like a lot of empaths have. God bless you. That's all I could say. What are your secrets? But usually there's an issue when it comes to relationships, and I'll explain a couple reasons why. First of all, as you know, if you're an empath, you feel everything way 10 times more deeply than other people. So you take a lot of things more seriously. It's not really normal to, I want to stay away from that word normal. It's not really typical for an empath to have a one-night stand or want a one-night stand or want a fling or anything like that, because, the fact that we want to feel somewhat a deep connection with somebody, that could never really happen with a fling or anything like that. And then if it does, then we're the ones that end up getting hurt. So it's for me, and this is speaking solely from my perspective, is that I'd rather be alone than have a short fling. And I enjoy my own company. My life is great. So in order for somebody to come into my life, it has to be something that is worthwhile and something very deep or I know is going somewhere. So that's me. I can assume that's because I'm empathic and why I feel that way. And if you want to give me some hearts or likes or some comments about maybe you feel this way, but that is what I've come to find. Also, our feelings can be intense. So a fling is it's just not going to satisfy us emotionally. It's not going to feel good. So that's part of it. Also, I want to bring up intimacy because I've been having issues myself, and I believe a lot of empaths do, is where a lot of us, and speaking of going after people that are emotionally unavailable, that's one of the reasons why, is because our intimacy is so intense that we tend to attract people that are emotionally unavailable, so we don't have to we don't have to show an intimate part of ourselves quite yet because it's super, super intense that we can't even kind of deal with it. So that actually does make sense, and I remember reading about that and being like, oh my god, light bulb moment. It makes so much sense why I am attracting people that are emotionally unavailable. So that's very, very interesting. I wonder if anybody else relates. Also, for me, in my life, when I look back, like I said, I've had relationships, I've dated people. I always just feel when I'm with somebody that the sensory overload of being in that relationship can just be too much, especially when you're empathic and you can take on the energy of other people. It could be really, really draining. So a lot of my life, when I look back, I have felt most emotionally free when I was single. I'm single right now. I've never felt better. And that's not to say relationships are bad, but it's also to say, it does say something about, I've been in the, quote unquote, wrong relationships for me. If I always feel like I'm trapped or I just maybe haven't executed all the things I learned about being empathic to bring into a relationship, that could be possible too. And like I said before, the draining part could be partly because you're taking on your partner's emotions like we're sponges, right? When people ask me what exactly is an empath, I just pretty much compare it to a sponge. Right? Thanks for the hearts and likes, guys. So you can really soak that up with a partner. So I'm actually a huge fan of Dr. Judith Orliff. If you guys have not heard of her yet, she is really a specialist on empaths, and she's wrote a lot of books. And really, for me, trying to figure out why my love life is up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's not like a straight line like a lot of other people, she has really, really made me understand what I need out of a relationship, and what works for me or what doesn't work for me. But today we're talking about what does work for you, right? Like I can actually, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do a Facebook Live about the types of people that we actually tend to attract. And like you guessed it, sociopaths and narcissists are number one. But like I said, this is about what is on the positive side, right? Like what are the types of people that empaths really are compatible with and have the most likely to be in a healthy relationship with. So I want to talk about that today. I think it's super important to really know yourself when you're empathic. Again, if you think that you're empathic and a lot of the stuff what I'm talking about, it resonates with you, message me and we can talk, because I think part of being successful in a relationship is understanding yourself. So if you're an empath, this is very important stuff to know, especially being in a relationship, because it really has to do with the feelings, right? Being empathic means you're feeling a lot, right? So it's really, really important to really understand yourself. So, all right, so I put together, with the help of Judith's book, hi Dina. Yes, awesome topic. I love talking about this. So basically, with the help of Judith Orliff and really listening to myself and figuring out what I want out of a relationship, I wrote down 3 types of people that really complement the empath well in a relationship. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first I want to talk about, and by the way, I've experienced all of these. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. I actually haven't experienced the last one, and I'll talk about it. So number 1, the intellectual, right? I've actually been with somebody that's pretty intellectual. The positive side of that is there's a couple of positives, actually. Number 1, they can they're good listeners. That's definitely something, because they're able to process information in an intellectual, mature way. And you really need that when you're an empath, right? And they also complement and anchor our emotional intensity, which is great, because they're actually more, the intellectual is logical, analytical, that type. So they're more left brain. So they're actually able to process what we're saying, and they're able to anchor the emotional part of ourselves. So I've actually been with a couple of intellectuals, and it actually does work. We've separated for other reasons, not anything to do with, it being unhealthy or anything like that. So, that is definitely a plus, but what I have found is one of the negatives of being in a relationship with an intellectual as an empath is that if they're agnostic or atheist, it's not really going to work. And I've noticed that as well, is basically empaths tend to be a little bit more spiritual, and the more you explore that side of yourself, the more that they can't rationalize, some of the things that you do or believe. So that could kind of get tricky, because in a relationship, I really do believe that faith and beliefs are really a backbone of it, and it really has to be somewhat similar. So if they think you're absolutely off the rocker, it's probably not going to work. So I've seen that as being an issue as far as what you believe. But as far as taking care of emotions and intellectually rationalizing or listening, listening is a big thing with intellectuals. They're really good active listeners. Like, it's not like it's going in one ear and going out the other. They're actually processing, and they are making a decision based on that. So the intellectual definitely could work for sure as far as being in a healthy relationship as an empath. So the second thing is, and this is my longest relationship, and maybe other empaths can relate. This is the rock. So what does the rock mean? It's actually the strong type, the strong and silent type. And basically the positives of it is they're consistent, dependable, stable, and we can express our emotions safely. And that is so important as an empath, because we want to be able to express ourselves at all times. At least that's how I feel. And we want to be able to do it in a place that's safe. And usually the rock is the strong and silent type. And like I said, this was my longest relationship, and it was great. And the downside of this, and if we can call it the negative if you want, is that they don't really reciprocate a lot of the times about feelings. And that was really the frustrating thing with me, is that I just couldn't get anything from him. Like, I couldn't have, like, a very deep conversation. And that's what I crave. And you can get that with the intellectual, by the way. You can have really deep conversations about things that matter, because they'll come at it from a very logical place. You'll come from a more dreamer space, right? More right-brained, more intuitive, more creative space. So that is the rock. It may get frustrating if you can't reciprocate, but if you're in a loving, healthy relationship, you would be able to express that, and then hopefully the rock will start loosening up a little bit, right? And in my case, I was too young to really understand what was the issue, and I wasn't able to express, hey, I would like you to talk about your emotions a little bit better. I just gave up, and that was me. That was on me, right? So that's part of my relationship history. So, okay, so moving on from the rock. So the third thing, and this is actually a relationship that I have not been in, and this is well, okay, so my short story before I go on is I thought I was with an empath, but I actually wasn't. I was with somebody that had Asperger's, which I will do a Facebook Live on because it's actually very similar being a highly sensitive person or an empath compared to somebody that has Asperger's. It's very, very similar, a lot of the things. There's two things in particular I can think of right off the top of my head. Lack of emotional intelligence and social cues. That's really your cue for somebody that has Asperger's and not somebody that's an empath. FYI. I can do a whole live on that. I probably will. I'll remember that. But it's a good topic. But going on to the third person that we would work with is another empath, guys. Empaths and empaths do great together. We really, really do well. So the benefits of that is they understand you, right? They understand you. There's a lot of things in my life and how I think and how I process things is it's very different from a lot of other people, and only an empath would be able to understand why I feel and do the things that I do. And it's really important to feel understood, right? Understood, feel loved. It's wonderful, and they can be supportive, positive, sensitive, heart connection. They get it. They just get it, and nothing is better than. A lot of my close friends, by the way, are empaths, and there's not, it's not a coincidence. And that's the other thing is that that's probably like the missing piece in my life, but those are the positives. But here's the negatives, guys. Defining your own feelings, right? Because you got one empath that's a sponge, and then you got another sponge, and then you guys are just absorbing everything, and it's kind of like a back and forth, and you don't know where one begins and the other ends, and you find you might be losing yourself, and it's just really hard, and you have to remember to set the proper boundaries to be able to be in a healthy relationship, period, but especially here with another empath. So those are the positives and the negatives. And I think I gave you positives and the negatives for all of them, but these are the three that Judith has said works pretty well, and I would agree with her. I think her work is very inspirational, and it's helped me tremendously. And she's actually going to be in New York if anybody's around in March 17th, I believe. She's doing a workshop. So that's exciting. But yeah, so I totally agree with all of these. I think that they're fantastic. I think it's really important, especially because empaths, their relationships are important to them, and for me, I can say that that's true. It's very important for me to have healthy relationships and relationships that don't drain me, and relationships that are built out of, feeling genuine and mutual respect and that kind of thing, and that's important. Those are super important qualities in friendships and relationships, and I'm all about the healthy relationships. Everybody knows that. So I really like the topic about what types of relationships we shouldn't be in. Right? That's a good topic. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, great, guys. Empaths, relationships, great topic. I'm so glad that you guys came and are watching me. And I will be on tomorrow. We'll see if I'll go through with the topic that I just talked about. We'll see. All right, cool. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to drop my schedule in the comments if you want to chat. You can schedule some time with me. Thank you for everybody that's watching the replay. And I will be on tomorrow. Bye.